This is your brain. What's up, everybody? If you are a parent, a teacher, or a therapist who wants to help students who have executive function challenges, in this video, I'm going to talk about the 13 executive functions, but I'm going to hone in specifically on one executive function, one skill set or skill, however you want to look at it. And I'm specifically going to talk about this essential, critical, massively important skill set called planning. And I'm going to tell you why this is so important for the kids that you work with. I'm going to give you my definition, even though different experts, we define it differently. I'm going to give you my definition, which I put in layman's terms because I want people to understand why this is so important. And I'm also going to talk to you about if your child has executive function challenges, how can you identify the most common problems with planning? So what we have here is, and what's up? My name is Seth with SethPerler.com, ExecutiveFunctionSummit.com. And this is the brain, the prefrontal cortex of the brain, or the front third of the brain, the frontal lobe of the brain, right here, right behind our forehead. This part of the brain is where executive function takes place. Now, we're going to talk, as I said, about planning, and I'm going to define it here. And then I'm going to show you also some of the problems that we have with planning. So let's go ahead and take a look at Seth's definition here. And I use every word very specifically in my definitions of everything. And I'm going to really break this down for you in this video. So 13 executive function skills. Number one, planning skills. This is a massive set of time management and or project management or task management skills. And these skills help us to estimate a realistic perception of the time, energy, and the steps that are necessary to execute or accomplish a goal or a task. So it's how we get stuff done, but it's how we perceive what we're going to have to do. So planning is about perceiving. Let me say this again. Planning is about perceiving the steps or the process in order to accomplish whatever the goal is. So the goal might be to do your math homework, to finish all your homework, to clean your backpack, to clean your bedroom, to play a song, learn a song, to get a driver's license, any number of things, to play video games. So planning is how the brain is going to help us conceptualize these steps. It's how we break down or chunk tasks into manageable subtasks or baby steps. And it includes planning one's day, using calendars, planners, agendas, scheduling, and planning how to write a paper, an essay, or whatever. So let's take a look at this definition a little bit more. This massive set of time management skills or project and task management skills. So I want you to think about the kids that you're trying to help, that everything that they're trying to do with executive function is essentially project management, task management, time management. But I like the term project management, because doing a job application, doing homework, using your planner, cleaning your locker out, going to your locker, these are all projects. Getting into college, going to summer camp, and doing the application for that. All of these are projects. Going to the grocery store for young adults, doing your laundry, these are projects. And when the brain, the frontal lobe, the prefrontal cortex of the brain struggles to execute and struggles to perceive these steps accurately, that causes a lot of problems in life, needless to say. So I want you to really think about planning in terms of project management and imagine that what you're trying to help the kids with. Think about the kid or kids that you are trying to help right now and think about what you're trying to help them do. Imagine a lot of those things can be thought of as projects, and they are lacking the skill sets to plan these projects. So how can we help them with that? And I'll be discussing that a bit today. So now this is how we break down or chunk. I like the term chunking. I use that a lot in my work. These tasks into manageable subtasks or baby steps. So when somebody says, hey, yeah, I'm going to go clean my room, I'm going to do my homework. Well, that's very vague. And there can often be with these kids a lot of resistance. Oh, I don't feel like doing that. I don't need to do that now. I'm going to procrastinate. I'll do it later. I'm not motivated. I don't feel like it. Why do I have to do this? All sorts of resistance to doing it. But when the planning skills aren't there and they're not able to conceptualize these subtasks or the smaller chunks that this task is made of, it feels very overwhelming. So they're feeling a sense of overwhelm, literally, somatically in the body. So them learning how to break these things down, these are planning skills. Learning how to break it down is part of building planning skills. So, and then I finish by saying it includes planning one's day, using calendars, planners, agendas. I mean, this can be planning for retirement. This can be planning for all kinds of things. So it's not just using their planner. So when I'm teaching kids planning skills, it goes way beyond that. Now let's take a look at what some of the problems, the very common problems that I see in my work. What are some of these problems? What do they look like? Schoolwork. So when they have planning problems with schoolwork, here's what it looks like. They're always trying to get caught up. They're always falling behind because they have late work, or they have a lot of incompletes or zeros, missing work. They're missing deadlines, things like that. When it comes to events, they're often unaware of upcoming responsibilities or events. It's just not on the radar. A lot of avoidance. So they might say things like, oh, I hate planners. I don't need a planner, things like that. So planning and planners feels like a burden to them. And a lot of times, especially by the time they're teenagers, and if you've heard this, please vouch for this in the comments, but they'll say this: I don't need to use a planner. Planners don't work for me. Planners don't work for me. Or I'll remember it, even though the evidence shows that they won't. But planners don't work for me is something very common that we'll hear. So the avoidance is a problem with planning that we see a lot. The procrastination, that they do things at the last minute. So they didn't plan it and they're doing it at the last minute. Oh, and here's where I have, the planners don't work for me. They'll also say that the teacher has it online already. So that's great that the teacher has it online. That can be a great accommodation. But when they don't have to plan it themselves, they are not learning or building planning skills. So that's something to consider realistically as well. Execution. So a lot of times they approach homework randomly and chaotically with no plan. So essentially they'll be like, oh, what's in my folder or backpack, and just grab whatever just so that they're doing some homework, if they're even doing it at all. But they're not thinking through, what are the things that I have for homework tonight? How long will they take? What should I prioritize? These sorts of things, which are also executive functions that are related to planning. Unproductive. Man, these kids are the ones that they take forever to do things. It takes them so long to get things done, and they waste a lot of time because they don't have a plan. They're approaching it chaotically. So that lack of a plan makes it even worse. And this is really painful to watch because these kids need free time. They need downtime. They could be getting it done more efficiently and effectively, but these lack of skills really interferes. Time blindness. An unrealistic perception of how much time and energy and the steps that are needed to accomplish things. And then writing. A lot of times when I talk about planning, we think about planners and agendas and calendars, but let's think about planning your writing. This is one that I see a lot. When they start to write without a plan, their essays go all over the place. So then when they get to the time when they need to start revising and editing, it's really hard. They have to reel in the whole paper because they've just vomited all of these ideas into one giant mono paragraph that's going aimlessly. So that lack of planning there, imagine how many hours or days or weeks or months in a lifetime they've wasted by not having a structured plan in their writing. So that is what I wanted to mention about the planning skills. Again, let me pop this definition up here. My name is Seth with SethPerler.com and ExecutiveFunctionSummit.com. And these skills, the brain is developing to help them build these skill sets. If you like what I'm doing, please share Executive Function Summit or SethPerler.com with somebody today. And I will be going into executive function number 2 and 3 and so on through all 13 in this series here. Thanks again for being here. I want to wish you peace in your heart, joy, and connection with the people you care about, particularly connection with the kids you care about. Have a fantastic day. Later.